Oasis Audio presents Lethal Kings, The Fey Dynasty, Volume 2, by Victoria McCombs. Read for you by Quay. Chapter 1. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but the Fey realm would be beautiful to anyone. Except Eliza, apparently. Her lips pressed furiously tight as the chariot glided onward, taking her on her first tour of the glorious realm where every country floated in the sky without roots, stars burned brighter than gems, and magnificence dripped from every dazzling mountain peak adorned with lanterns. We passed by a waterfall spilling from the edge of one country, sending an endless stream through the night, every drop pure white. To Eliza, it might as well have all been burnt tundra. Her shoulders pinched back as her hands gripped the rails, and her gaze made frequent trips toward the south where the mortal realm had disappeared and only darkness remained. I made a mental note to thoroughly explain that jumping off would not lead her to the mortal realm. "When can we visit home?" she asked. The three ambassadors in the chariot with us didn't hide their grimaces well. My stomach clenched. "We'll talk about that soon," I whispered. As if our speaking had broken some rule of silence, the silver-haired Fae held out a slender hand. "I can take the bracelet. The lords of Bastion's court will be missing it." My stomach sank further. The golden bracelet still clasped to my wrist was more than jewelry. Bash had stolen the enchanted jewelry at a great risk to his reputation and delivered it with a promise that I could use it to steal the power of an ambassador. In doing so, I'd become Fae myself and escape the threat of impending death that all mortal queens are blessed with. It was to be my freedom, or so I thought. Shortly before my departure to the mortal realm earlier today, Odette informed me Bash was lying and that the bracelet would transfer the power to him, leaving me dead before I ever turned Fae. That alone made me want to throw this bracelet into the abyss, but instead, my fingers tightened around it. It had great value to the lords, and that gave me power. I'll hold on to it. "To give to King Bastion?" By the way her brow lifted, she suspected a romantic relationship had formed between us, and it bothered her. She might have been right before, but now the relationship was weaker than my faith in survival. "No, I'll give it directly to the lords." Her hand wavered before dropping reluctantly. I held rank over her, and she couldn't argue. But as she spoke, her words dipped in displeasure. "See that you do." The mental clock ticked in my head, still hours until midnight. Thanks to my tenuous alliance with Lord Winster, the silver-haired Fae was under obligation to say yes to anything I asked until that point, which would have allowed me to take her power as the ambassador, if only I had a way to hold the power. I wondered if she knew what I had planned. By now she must. Beside me, Eliza crossed her arms. "Why didn't you visit us?" The accusation was clear in the tone of her voice, and it pulled me from my thoughts. "I tried." That sounded weak, but she didn't know the extent of it. I'd crafted deals with kings and alliances with those who made my skin crawl. I'd poured myself into the mysterious messages hidden within paintings. I'd spent days without sleep as I searched for answers. I'd thrown myself from the edge of the island, falling aimlessly, desperate to find home. It had all been in vain. But Eliza didn't know any of that. All she knew was that I left and didn't return. "You promised Malcolm," she reminded me. If Eliza pushed too hard, she'd see me cry. I straightened my spine. She shook her head and turned away. I tried to recall if I'd been this stubborn for Gaia, but all that did was make my insides twist harder until I struggled to compose myself. Her death still rested too close in memory. Below, the shimmering lights of the mortal queen's palace came into view, nestled on the edge of a floating country with towering forests of amber trees growing behind it. The Fae would be gathered there, and I appreciated the distraction from the tension in the chariot. I pushed myself close to the rails to see my Fae home. One thing piqued my interest above all else. A mist of darkness blanketed the kingdom. The courtyard, though still far away, was ablaze with torch flames that gleamed from golden accents, but beyond the small palace, the kingdom lay in absolute darkness. The sort of darkness that swallowed even the night and sucked the beauty from everything around it. The kind that looked like death. It hadn't been like this before Gaia died, but now it was...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?